Recently, I received a donation of cool old school car audio from Stephen T. from Texas. Thank you, sir. A couple amplifiers, a crossover, and some other items. Standing out here, though, was the Rodek 425i. Now, speaking of Rodek, let's go back to 1993. Here's an advertisement where they show no less than 12 different models. Everything from a small 2-channel up to a very large 2-channel, 4 and 6-channel amplifiers. In the October 1992 issue of Car Audio and Electronics, there was a test of 7 versatile amplifiers, all $400. Autotech, Earthquake, Hafler, Linear Power, Monolithic, Rodek, and US amps. And surprisingly, the Rodek amplifier came out number 1, the RA280E. I personally had not heard of Rodek before this time, so this really put them on the charts. And as stated before, there are 12 different models. We're going to look at 1993 car stereo review, and we're going to show off the model we have, the 425i. It listed for $320 back then. That's equivalent to $680 in 2023, accounting for inflation. The 425i came as a brushed aluminum finish with blue sides, also a blue badge there on the top of the amp, which seems to just be glued down. Here on one side of the amp, you can see we have gain, minimum and maximum for channels 1, 2, 3, and 4. We also have 4 inputs via standard RCAs. These are not Tiffany style. A lot of the amps back in the day did not use Tiffany. Here's a power LED and manufactured in the USA. This was by Z Audio. And here we'll do a flyby. You can see not a whole lot going on here. No crossovers or anything like that built into these amps. They were just raw power. Now on the opposite side, we did take out these terminal screws so that we could give them a bath in the evaporust. And I'm going to show that and let it sit for a while, and then we'll come back and check it out.
The next day.
Check out these terminal screws now. Man, these things look almost new. I'll leave a link in the video description for the evaporust. This stuff works really well. Here on the side, you can see power connections for ground, 12 volt, and remote. They recommend using number 8. Also channels 1 through 4 here via screw down terminals, and they also talk about how to bridge the amp using the plus on the left and the minus on the right, top and bottom for each channel. And so later in the video, we will show you the inside of the amp to show you what it looks like, but for right now, we're just going to kind of tease you. Take out the screw here, pop down the panel. Yeah, we're going to show this later, so make sure you stick around for that. As far as the ratings go, 25 by 4 at 4 ohms, 45 by 4 at 2 ohms, or 90 watts times 2 bridged at 4 ohms. It's not stable at 1 ohm stereo or 2 ohms bridged. Dimensions, 9.5 inches long, 4.8 inches wide, 2.5 inches for the height. Now let's fire up the SMD DeMoore Engineering Amplifier Dyno so we can test the amplifier to find out its true output power. On the left, you'll see the power output. The middle, the ohm load. On the right, the voltage of the dyno. We'll also have the remote clamp so that we can calculate the efficiency for this Class AB old school amp.
This here's my favorite part.
First set of tests will be done in the 4-channel mode. The amplifier dyno will test 2 of those channels. The other 2 will be loaded down by resistors. I'll show here we have the 1000 watt 4 ohm resistors that are on the opposite channel. So 2 on the dyno, 2 on those resistors. Now certified test first using the 1 kilohertz tone. And I apologize for the blurry camera, not sure what's going on here. 28 and 26 watts, so we'll average about 27 watts by 4. Certified, uncertified up to the clipping point. And no, that's not a ghost there you see in the reflection, that's me. About 30 watts by 4, so yeah, a little bit better than the rated once again. And dynamic, these amplifiers are highly regulated, so we don't expect to see a big difference between any of the tests. Also, the voltage of the amp doesn't really matter that much. Efficiency though, woo, 35%. That's pretty bad, but you know, these amps are said to sound good, so we'll let it slide. 2 ohms 4-channel mode rated 45 watts by 4. Certified test first to 1% distortion. And we got about 46 average, so right at the rated power, about 14 volts of input. Uncertified to clipping. Once again, I think we're going to see close to the same. Actually got a little bit more power here. About 56 watts times 4. Nice power. And dynamic, we'll send the 1 kilohertz burst tone into the amp. And got the same as the uncertified. averaging about 56 watts by 4. Now what about the efficiency at 2 ohms? Whoo boy, 31%. Yo, that's pretty low. Now we will set the amp up for bridged operation. You can see we have plus and minus there on the top and then on the bottom. And then we're going to try it 4 ohms, 2 channels, rated 90 watts by 2 at 12 volts. We're feeding a little bit more than 12 volts, but it doesn't matter because the amp is highly regulated, so it doesn't do much difference between 12 and 14. 113 and 110 nicely did the rated power plus. What about uncertified up to the clipping point? And I don't know what smudge is on my camera, but that is bothering me. I'm sorry about that. 124 and 121, right at 14 volts. Then dynamically, there you go. Once again, not a whole lot of difference. 126 and 124, 14.13. Efficiency is still pretty low though, in the 30s, close to 40, 39%. Woo! This is not an efficient amp, but that's okay. It's old school and it still worked. Here are the results. You can see the 4-channel results. First, we showed all these for the 2-channel test. I did do it at 8 ohms as well. You can pause this if you want to see how it did. Now let's hook it up to some speakers and see how it sounds. Here we have the Rodek 425i hooked up. Of course, to our ELAC bookshelf speakers, our favorites for doing demos. You can see the model number 425i, made in USA. Let's go ahead and power it up. Took a couple seconds there. Let's get some demos going. First up, some Smokey's Lounge. Are you feeling the blues? What about the smoke jacket blues? Now we'll try the vocals with some Ice and Fire.
Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're giving me wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite.
Kick some bass with the Ice Flow. And some straight up crazy bass with Space Age Hustle. Sorry, that last one there was an extra long demo, but I thought you guys liked to see the woofers flex, so I just let it keep playing. Now let's move to the internals. Again, we'll take out this screw here between the RCA jacks, and we take out a few more screws there on that side panel. Take the side panel off, we'll flip the amp over, and then just slide the bottom plate off. That's how most of the Z Audio, I think maybe all the Z Audio amplifiers work. And here you can see the internals. Rodek 425i, made in the USA. Again, this is a Z Audio amplifier. He made Autotech, Crunch, Hyphonics. A lot of different amps back in the 80s and 90s were designed by Steve Mantz. And a lot of people still like these, and they liked them all over the years because they are great amplifiers. They sound good, have Nichicon capacitors which probably need to be changed by this point. But yeah, overall, amp performed as expected, sounded great with the speakers. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to smash the like. Till next time, Big D, I'm out.